Hello everybody and welcome back to the Professional Wreck, our YouTube channel. And today I'm going to fulfill a promise I made earlier about making a video about bituminous paints. So today is the day. Stay stay with me till the end. And okay, I'll start by giving a little bit of context about bituminous paints in terms of what they are and what they are used for and why they are general. Why are they good? Why should you choose bituminous paints when doing your work or on a certain kind of application or certain types of projects? Why bituminous paint is the best choice for you? So first of all, I'll start by defining what are bituminous paints, and I'll say that bituminous paints the term bituminous comes from the word bitumen, and bitumen is a byproduct of the process of refining crude oil. It is one of the byproducts. Bitumen is one of the byproducts that comes from refining crude oil. So after you've refined crude oil, you will find bitumen as one of the byproducts, and then the bituminous paint, the bitumen that you get, is passed through various mineral spirits to get bituminous paint. That is the process of when you're passing the bitumen through mineral spirits, you're refining it, you're cleaning it so that you get bituminous paint. And then you can add various acrylic products into the bituminous paint that you get from bitumen to define or to change and to adjust and to play around with the characteristics of the final bituminous paint. You add various acrylic products. So that's the process of producing bituminous paint. And bituminous paint actually is a special kind of paint, and the price normally they are very economical. They are actually cheaper than in most cases they should be cheaper than the normal. The slight not cheaper, sorry, slightly cheaper, slightly expensive, if not the same price as normal gloss paints. And they are available in a 1 liter, in a bucket of 1 liter. You'll find 4 liters, and then you find 20 liters. Normally, bitumen is a black product in color. So bituminous paint, you'll only find it in black color. Don't know if this is making sense. You can't find bitumen paint that is yellow. I've never come across that in Kenya, or maybe outside, maybe in other countries out there, but in Kenya it's usually just black. And when thinning this paint, when you're thinning the bituminous paint in readiness for application, you thin it using mineral spirits. Actually, it only follows, natural follows that since it's produced by passing bitumen through mineral spirits, so thinning is also done using mineral spirit. And mostly it is when it, in most cases, most companies, Crown, Duracoat, Royal Paints, United Paints, Crystal Paints, Plascon, and all those other most companies, mostly this product is usually provided or is usually packed already ready for mixing, or I mean ready for application. It is usually light. But in case you don't think it is light enough or you don't find it light enough, you can just add white spirit or mineral spirit to make it lighter for to suit your needs so that you can apply it easily. So it is important that you understand that you avoid over thinning. You don't want to over thin this product. You don't want to add too much mineral spirit, because when you over thin it, actually you are damaging it. You are ruining its it's a characteristic, what makes it suitable for what it is supposed to be used for. Don't know if that is making sense. You don't want to overthin. Avoid overthinning the bituminous paint. And so what are the characteristics of this paint? First of all, it is corrosion resistant. It is resistant when you apply it to a surface. It makes the surface resistant to corrosion, and it is a very good waterproofing medium. You apply it on a surface, it prevents moisture coming from out from moisture doesn't penetrate through the through bituminous paint to affect the substrate or to affect the surface that you've applied it on. So actually it's a very good it's a good product for use when you're trying to control moisture in whatever it is you're doing. But let it be understood that you cannot apply bituminous paint is not the best paint for places where the surface will be in direct contact or in direct exposure to UV light coming from the sun, that is. Because UV light tends to degrade the paint, the bituminous paint over time, and so it will start cracking, it will start deforming, it will lose its qualities, its water resistance qualities and its waterproofing qualities over time. So you want to place it, we want to apply it on a surface that is protected from the direct sunlight, and it is maybe in a shade or even underground. Actually, preferably underground. Let's say maybe like those, and that. Okay, I'll come to the uses later on. But so, what are the features of a bituminous paint that makes it very suitable for what it's used for? First of all, it is non-toxic. And in relation to that non-toxicity, that is why it's very, very, it's advisable, or it's actually suitable for application on the inside surface of water tanks that are used to store drinking water. I need you to understand that we are storing, we are when you have a drinking a water tank that is used to store drinking water, and maybe it has leaks, or maybe you just want to apply this paint, you want just to protect it, you want to protect the inside part of it, just maybe from so that as a preemptive measure, or just as for good measure, so that maybe it doesn't, you don't have start having problems of leakage later on. The best product for you is bituminous paint. Bituminous paint, because it is non-toxic, so it won't affect the water that you're storing inside the tank. The water will remain safe for you to drink, for you and your family, and you won't have problems with that. So it is non-toxic. Secondly, this paint is actually very economical. It is actually comparable in price with the normal gloss paints. So you're not spending a fortune on these paints. You're just paying the normal price that you'd pay for other gloss paints in most cases. But if there is maybe a price discrepancy, it's just a small amount, maybe like 100 bob or 200 shillings, that's Kenyan shillings. And another characteristic of these paints is that they are resistant to alkalines. They are not affected by alkalines like other paints. Maybe let's talk about normal gloss paints. And when you apply them on a surface, they are leaving a very glossy finish, like gloss paints. It's not really gloss paints, but they are leaving a finish that looks like, if actually you don't know, if somebody, maybe you're not told that this is bituminous paint, you might actually not be able to differentiate a surface that has been painted using bituminous paint and other normal gloss paints. So you need to understand that, and this paint actually will resist against rust. So sometimes it's actually very useful, or it's used on roofs, so that it prevents water leakage into into the space. And because this paint is not suitable for exposure to UV light, maybe it's better if you apply it, if you're applying it on the roof, it's better if you apply it on the inside part of the roof. If you want to waterproof your roof, you apply it on the inside part of the roof, so that it is not exposed directly to UV light. And if you're applying it on the outside, maybe there you could go for a product, or a product that is engineered specifically to withstand UV light. They are there actually. You check out companies like Crown. You'll find they have bituminous aluminum, that is bituminous aluminum paint, which is actually very suitable for. It is bituminous paint, but it is suitable for exposure to UV light. There are those, like I said, bituminous paint is actually added. The companies usually add, manufacturers usually add acrylic products to play around with their characteristics. So there are products out there which have been added certain acrylic products to make them suitable for exposure to sunlight. So I don't know if this is making sense. If you are buying a bituminous paint, you intend to paint on your roof or on the outside where it's exposed to UV light, you need to ensure that you're buying a product that is specifically suited for exposure to UV light. Is that making sense? Tell me about it in the comment section. And like I said, these products, you can find it in 1 liter, you can find it in 4 liters, you can find it in 20 liters, you can find it, 1 liter, 4 liters, and 20 liters. That is the packaging of them. And another feature of this paint that makes it very suitable for use is that it creates a very good bond with the substrate. When I mean the substrate, I mean the surface on which you are applying it. It sticks to the surface very nicely to ensure that it is not coming off. So yeah, that will mean that you won't have problems with peeling off, paint peeling off from the surface and all, and things like that. And then it is actually easy to use. This paint, bituminous paint, is actually very easy to use. You can you don't have to be a pro as long as you prepared your surface properly. You don't have to be a pro for you to be able to apply your bituminous paint. And the drying period, it dries very fast. Maybe between it takes like 2 hours. Most companies, most products that I've interacted with from various companies, mostly for the paint to achieve touch dryness, as in being dry to the touch. Like when you touch a surface that has been painted with this paint, it doesn't stick to your fingers. It takes like 2 hours. And then if you need to reapply a second coat, let's say that will take you like about 6 hours for you to be able to reapply a second coat or a third coat. And it is actually it is more suitable for you to apply at least 2 or 3 coats. You don't want to apply just one coat, because for the best results, that is, you want to get the best results, you apply at least 2 to 3 coats, not just one coat. And another, and it is important that you keep in mind that when you are applying these paints, you keep stirring. It's a good rule. It's actually a good rule that when you're applying paint, you consistently stir. You don't leave it to sit maybe for like 30 minutes or 10 minutes before you, when you're painting. You consistently stir. So that, because you want to ensure that the pigment is properly mixed with the solvent when you're applying, so that you don't have problems with your finished work. And it is very important for you to prepare the surface before you apply. If maybe it's new plaster, you ensure that you sand it properly. You apply the appropriate primer before you apply this paint. You don't want to apply the paint on a surface that is deformed, or it is dirty, it is greasy, oily, and all that with a lot of dust. No, you need to prepare the surface first. Wipe off the dust, wipe off the dirt, remove the grease using hot water or other appropriate chemical solvents. Make sure the surface is properly dried before you can do it. You can apply bituminous paint. That is for the best results. Like if you check out our video about surface preparation and all that, about actual painting process, you'll see that surface preparation is very important. Actually, it's more important than even the painting process itself. So you want to ensure that you prepare the surface properly before you do what you apply your bituminous paint for the best results. That is, and the best if you're applying this bituminous paint on a what on a metal surface, ensure that you apply the appropriate primer first. Mostly it will be a zinc phosphate primer. This primer is available from various companies like Plascon. They have their primer, their zinc phosphate primer. We have Crown, we have Basco Duracode. That is, we have United Paints. They have these primers that you can use, that you can apply on the surface before you apply your bituminous paint for the best results. And bituminous paint is actually, you can apply it on a wide range of surfaces or substrates. You can apply it on metal, various kinds of metals, that is galvanized metal, steel, we have iron, we have plastics, we have stone, bricks, wood, and all those. Actually, any kind of a surface you can imagine, I bet you can apply bituminous paint on it, and the work will come out properly. Just as long as you prepare the surface, you apply the appropriate primer, surface prepared properly, bituminous paint will always work for you. And then there is you also want to make sure that you're using the appropriate tools when you're applying your paint. And in this case, bituminous paint is not very complicated. Actually, it's a paint that is actually very easy to work with. So you can just use brush. You can use just normal brush, whether it's premium brush or just ordinary brush. You can use a roller, a paint roller. You can spray using a sprayer. And then another thing about bituminous paint is that, like I said before, you don't want to expose them to UV light. So they are not suitable for painting your exterior walls. It will degrade over time, and you will blame your painter for doing a bad job. And for applications, actually, these paints are actually, like I said, they have very good waterproofing qualities, and they offer resistance to corrosion and rust. So they are very suitable for application on places that need waterproofing. Like I said, water tanks that contain drinkable water or other kinds of water, they are very suitable for that. And they don't degrade under acidic conditions. So actually, it's also applicable under acidic conditions. And you can also actually apply this bituminous paint on pipe work, that is plumbing works and pipes, things of the sort, to avoid leakage of water. So maybe let's say maybe you have a joint in your plumbing where there is water seeping, water dropping through them and causing damage to your house. You can apply this paint, a few coats, to prevent or to stop that problem. So it's actually very suitable for use both above the ground and underground. Above the ground, you ensure that it is under a shed, and underground, well, that is already protected from UV light. So, and the cost of these paints will actually depend from one region to another, and will actually also depend on the quantity that you are buying and the company, the manufacturer. Like you would expect, the prices in Nairobi won't be the same as prices in Turkana, or maybe in interior places in a remote village in say Busia, in a where Nandi Hills, iko ndani ndani. So yeah, the price will depend on where you are located, but mostly you'll find them between 1,000 and 1,500. That's for 4 liters, and 1 liter you can find it between 1 liter will go for between 300 shillings and 500 shillings, depending on the company and the location where you're located, and what else, and the specific type of bituminous paint. Like I said, companies usually add acrylic solvents or chemicals to change the properties of the final bituminous paint. So if you find a product that has been differentiated to make it suitable for certain applications, it might be more expensive than a product that hasn't been differentiated or hasn't been changed in any way. I hope that makes sense. And if you have questions or you have concerns, you have an issue you would like us to address or talk about, please, like always, hit us in the comment section. And please, if you're watching this, you like this content, like always, I'm asking you to subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. I don't know what video I'll be making next, but I'll see you. I'll be here maybe today or tomorrow. Stay safe.